Hi there, everyone, and welcome. I'm Cindy Daychuk with Queen Bee Creations. Thank you for joining me on the channel. If you're out thrifting, very often you find things that you just kind of think, okay, I'll do something with that someday. So I have this little wreath form. Had it for ages. But I was just out and I came across this big bag of Easter eggs. And most of them are kind of the same or similar. Not this one, but these in the pinks and the blues. There's stripes, there's these kind of cross-hatched ones with little daisies in it. Oh, these are kind of striped, but they're plaid, right? And oh, there's a couple of polka dotted ones. So what I thought was that I would kind of put these together. I think I have more than enough. There's another polka dot. Okay. I have more than enough of the same ones to kind of play with. And this is one of those things that you just have to kind of be watching for. Now, I don't need this loop, but I am going to leave the little bows on. I don't know if you'll be able to see them or not, but I'm leaving them on in case they just kind of fill it in a little bit. And we'll see how many I need, and maybe I'll have lots left over for other crafts. Who knows? So some of them have ribbon, some of them don't have a ribbon. I just want to get enough of them cut off. And all that I'm going to be looking at doing, oh, I need a couple more blues. All I'm going to look at doing is hot gluing them in place and filling out this wreath enough that I can then look at adding ribbon and additional decoration, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to put the glue on the actual egg and sort of hold it onto the form until it firms up a little bit. Just, this is kind of uneven and letting it go, and it just slowly goes. Ooh. So what I am going to try and do is kind of alternate colors here and there and alternate some of the patterns. So I'll try not to put a daisy one beside a daisy. Good in theory, we'll see how well it works in practice, because I don't know how many different designs I have and how flexible I can be with that whole plan. Once I get a couple on, then it will be easier, because in essence they will start holding each other up. Because then I can glue them to the form and I can glue them to each other. So now I just start continuing to work my way around my wreath. Gluing on some new eggs. And again, much easier when you get to glue them against each other. Trying not to get too much glue where it shows. Take the striped guy. I've got my last couple of eggs to stick in before I take a step back and look to see whether I need to fill some gaps. It's a little challenging with the eggs because they don't squish together. They're kind of a static shape and they only go the way that they go, and that's it. So it's a little different, but you know. Okay, so I definitely have, I'm thinking maybe sticking that one right there actually. Just a little bit of filler. So you can see, okay, they're not all stuck on there, but you can see how it looks so far. Now I'm gonna go check out the shop. You know, I got to tell you, that big bag of eggs that I got, that was for $4.99 from the thrift store, less 30%. So major deal. And I think the wreath frame was 40 cents. So I'm not in it for a lot so far, but that looks cute as it is. I'm just going to check and see though if I have some little bits of greenery that I can kind of stick in there. Originally I was thinking maybe ribbons, but it's got a lot of little ribbon pieces. So I'm going to look for some greenery and see what I can come up with, see what I can find hanging out here in the shop. And then we'll get back together and see what it looks like with some of that. So stay tuned.
Well, as luck would have it, I did attempt to film showing you that the greenery looked awful. I tried little green picks, and I tried some eucalyptus, and I tried some lavender, and everything just looked way too heavy. I then took some kind of white tulle, really sheer ribbon, and tried making a bow at the top, and it didn't work. But what I ended up doing, and you see me doing here, is I cut that same tulle fabric, that same tulle ribbon, $1.25 from the dollar store for the spool, and I used the whole spool. I just cut it into squares, used a chopstick to stuff it down in between all of the different eggs. It kind of filled in the gaps. It was nice and light. It didn't overwhelm the eggs. And that's what I ended up doing. I stuck some in from the top, the sides, a little bit from the back. Any of the gaps, it kind of covered it all up, filled up that space. It was perfect.
This turned out to be a super cute and super fast little craft. I think that those little tufts of the tulle fabric were just exactly what this little wreath needed. No big bows, nothing fancy. It just kind of filled it in, softened it a little bit, gave it a nicer shape and look. Kind of perfect. The price tag on this one, it comes in at probably a little under, well, let's add glue in, so under $8. Not an expensive craft. The kicker was obviously finding a big bag of these at the thrift store, but ever since I found that big bag of them, I have found other bags of other eggs. So whether or not you end up spray painting them in multiple colors or consistent colors, or you go with what you find, I think that don't overlook that. I think you can glue them up really fast, use a little bit of ribbon to zhuzh it up a little bit, and have just a super cute little extra decoration for Easter. Hope you enjoyed this extra video. Certainly we're gonna keep coming at you with more, and I hope you tune in. Until then, take care.